Listen, I believe in your Patriots, KW.
Thanks.
I picked them before the year to make the playoffs. I said I think during tiers they could be the number 1 seed.
Yes.
It's certainly on the board. But the Bucs' schedule best is Super Bowl contention this year. The Patriots, that's a year or two, call it 1 year ahead of schedule.
Maybe.
And I am not, you play who you play. I do think the Patriots' 7-2 record isn't quite as hefty as the Bucs' 6-2 record, even though the Bucs have been close victories. And I think there is something very real and important about a veteran, established quarterback with real postseason experience and played really well in the postseason. So I think the Bucs are better than the Pats. I think the Bucs at home, even banged up, will beat the Pats, and I think the Bucs are better positioned to be real. They can win the Super Bowl this season contenders, with no disrespect to the Pats, who I think are having an excellent year.
So I don't think either of these teams is a contender to really win the Super Bowl. But they're both very impressive. Got to love where they're at with quarterback play. The Patriots do seem a year ahead of schedule. The Bucs have been winning their division each and every year, and they are overcoming injuries at this point, even if they are winning really close games. But to Nick's point, if I had to pick one to go on a run, it would be the Bucs.
You don't even believe in Tampa at all.
I know. But
Exactly.
I'm shocked. I know why you're going to say this is a confusing take.
Oh,
I like the Patriots in this game. But the Bucs are going to have a home playoff game. The Patriots, I do not think will. I think the Bills will end up winning the AFC East. But in this game, in this spot, I expect the Patriots to win.
Okay.
I think the Patriots are going to win this game. Bucs coming off a bye, but I do think the injuries right now are too much for Tampa to overcome in this moment against the real team. I think they've been kind of doing a Houdini act with all of these one-score wins, fourth quarter comebacks, and all of that stuff. But at the end of the season, the team that's going to be better positioned to make a playoff run is the team that I think is more likely to play a game at home in the playoffs, which is Tampa.
Okay, so I think the Pats here, and both, in my opinion, are contenders. But I think if the Patriots win this game, it just builds to that resume that you feel like they lack. Beating the Bucs, a team in the NFC that we all believe that's going to be in the postseason, that's going to have a shot. They've had a shot every year the last couple of years. But when you look at what they're doing, the young quarterback that's unproven, I don't buy that you have to have this proven veteran guy that's kind of had a playoff win, that's had experience. It's something to having a guy that just has a belief and a confidence that he moves with, that he obviously plays with, that then when he comes into the playoffs, you don't know what you're going to get. You're hoping that you get a young guy that's going to be rattled, but he seemingly hasn't been that. Then you look at who he's already played. The biggest threat to him, albeit the Chiefs, because they're the biggest threat to every. But the Bills in their division, and playing them on the road already, and having gone in there and beat them, why do you believe that all of a sudden they have to have a home playoff game in order to be?
Exactly. You're saying, oh my God, you're saying that who the Bucs beat is somehow more impressive than what the Patriots have done? Are we serious right now? Are we serious right now? And we want to talk about quarterbacks in the playoffs. This is what Nick said about Baker Mayfield last season with Jane Daniels. How'd that work out? Which quarterback played better? Which quarterback went on the road and won? Was it Jane Daniels? Did Jane Daniels beat Baker Mayfield? Yeah, he did. He did. Name the win from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Baker that's more impressive than Drake May on the road beating Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. Point to the game. I want to see it. I'll watch it right now. Tell me the game. Was it the Falcons? No. They've been really inconsistent. What about the Texans? They've been terrible. How about the Jets? They've been terrible. How about the Eagles? Oh, they lost. Baker, no. How about the Seahawks? Great game. Great game. Is it Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills? It's not. The 49ers, Mac Jones? No. The Lions. Oh, he lost. They got rocked. They got destroyed. They got annihilated. But hey, you beat the Saints 23-3. It's unbelievable. This is what we call when you have a take that you just refuse to move off it. You just need to constantly filter what you're seeing through this preconditioned take. And it gets you in trouble. You got to be willing to change your mind. You got to be willing to be more flexible as the season goes along. So if you're still banking on the Drake Maye, first off, you know what rattles quarterbacks, young quarterbacks? Pressure. And I mean defensive pressure. Blitzes, and that's like the big way to just, the whole thing is just, we're going to get after you. You are not up to speed. You literally can't process the NFL game as quickly as a veteran. You're going to be confused. We're going to give you all this pressure, simulated pressure. It's just going to be all a bunch of nonsense, and you're just going to be like, oh my God, what do I do? Drake Maye's being sacked and being hit like just an insane amount of times, and it doesn't matter. Like it does not affect him. He is taking sacks at an insane rate, and it just doesn't matter at all. That's like the one thing you do for a young quarterback to make them pay the consequences. And yet he's seemingly not paying any consequences. I don't even understand it. I need someone else to explain. I need Mike Vrabel to explain it to me. How is this happening? Because Vrabel does have that clip that I referenced before where he's like, taking sacks are just absolute drive stoppers. Your chance of scoring gets cut in half if you take a sack. And yet for the Patriots, it's like, it doesn't matter. They're like, whatever. I mean, it's remarkable. So like the one thing you can do to rattle a young quarterback, seemingly does not rattle the quarterback. It's remarkable. It really is. It's remarkable. So we could say, oh, he's had some success in the playoffs and this and that. Okay. It's the same thing he said about Jane Daniels. Jane Daniels got to the NFC Championship game. He was brilliant on the road against the Bucs. He was brilliant against the Lions. He did everything he could against the Eagles. Eagles were just the Super Bowl champions. Can only do so much. So yeah. This is hilarious. And again, they're doing some sleight of hand here, which Danny has discussed about him and Nick always doing the sleight of hand stuff. Pats or Bucks more likely to prove they're contenders. Like we're talking about like in that game. We're not talking about who has an easier schedule ahead of them, who has better or stronger wins in the past, who has a home playoff game versus not. That's a completely different conversation. If the conversation was who will go the farthest in the playoffs, who will end up being the more serious contender or something, that's a different conversation. They're talking about, hey, these two teams are playing each other. Who's going to prove that they're they're the contender? Like that's what the question is. And that's why you always have to kind of back yourself in the corner with some of these sports questions, because otherwise it can always go into the other stuff of like, well, I'm trusting a young quarterback versus a veteran quarterback. They have an easier schedule. They're more likely to get a home game. You can have that conversation literally every single week, and who wants to do that? So when you throw out some of these questions, you do have to back yourself in a corner where like, we're just talking about Sunday. When they play each other, who's more likely to prove they're contenders? Like that's the question. And you got to kind of stick to that. Because like I said, otherwise you're just having the same conversation again and again and again. And we already have the same conversation again and again and again in the sports world. We just try to find different ways to have the same conversation again and again and again and again. I mean, I don't know. I forget who the Patriots play. The Patriots play the Bills again whenever they do. We could say, who's more likely to prove that they're the real contenders, right? Like, so it's always the same conversation. Which is why I always use those questions in the conversation as a jumping off point. More than anything, and an invitation for you all to just share your comments and share your thoughts. Yeah, it's interesting that the Bucks are favored. Seems like people are still not really buying in to the Patriots quite yet. And yeah, I think this would be an important win, an important game for Drake May and the Patriots. Now, to be fair, I do think the Buccaneers are a good team. I don't think the Buccaneers are some bad team, and I do think Baker Mayfield's been playing great. And you can't expect the Patriots to just win every single game from here on out, right? They're not going to just now go undefeated from here and go off and win the Super Bowl. Now, Brew always tries to predict where he goes, they're due for a loss and this or that. That's not how my mind works. I don't look at it through that because, again, then you can always play that game. But I do believe that the Patriots should win. I do believe that the Patriots are the better team. And I'll probably talk about that more, in a more focused video about the game itself, probably Saturday, maybe Friday. But I'm just wanted to comment more on the whole, well, should we really have any confidence in this team right now? And we got the confidence in Baker. Drake May is a better quarterback than Baker Mayfield today. Drake May is a better quarterback than Baker Mayfield today by every single metric. Let me say that one more time. Drake May is a better quarterback than Baker Mayfield by every single metric. That's it. Those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Drake May and the New England Patriots? Who's more likely to prove that they're contenders when they play Sunday? When they play Sunday. Not in the grand scheme of things. When they play Sunday. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.